Nice topic, even it's not crazy.
Okay, we don't have anybody to speak before the meeting, so let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Let me do the roll call. Bill Simonelli, here. John Elkins,
Here.
David Ott,
Here.
David O'Donnell is not in attendance today. Rob Purcell,
Here.
Lisa DePatty,
Here.
Stan Toro,
Here.
Chuck Keel.
Here.
We have a quorum and we'll proceed with the agenda. I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the meeting minutes from our meeting of July 31st, 2025.
So moved. Second.
Second, do we have any comments on the meeting minutes? All those in favor of approving the meeting minutes of July 31st, 2025, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting minutes are approved. Okay. Board President's Report. Good evening and welcome to everyone joining us tonight for our August board meeting. After several delays and a longer than expected repair time, the lagoon pool was reopened on August 22nd. The board would like to thank the management staff for their hard work to complete the pool repairs. The board will be working with the management team to complete the replacements of the end-of-life pool amenities that Chuck will go into detail later today. I have two items I would like to discuss today before the treasurer's report. Blue Stream Fiber construction crews have been working street by street to do the outside plant construction for Sandoval's new internet infrastructure. The pace of construction will continue over the next 3 months as the crews work to complete all the outside construction. I understand that the scale of this project can feel overwhelming. To help manage it, two community volunteers, Frank Hennigan and Val Zielinski, are providing daily on-site oversight of the construction activities. They keep residents informed at the street level and work to resolve any issues that arise promptly. Under the agreement between Blue Stream Fiber and Sandoval, Blue Stream Fiber is fully responsible for repairing any property damage caused by its construction. This includes a clear process for repairs or reimbursement to affected residents. Frank and Val's role ensures that problems are addressed quickly and to the homeowner's satisfaction. We also hold weekly meetings with key Blue Stream Fiber personnel to review project status and outstanding repair issues. If you encounter a concern, please report it using the Blue Stream Fiber contact number provided on the door hanger or in the general manager's weekly email. Then email Frank and Val so they can follow up on your behalf. Actual individual resident service cutover will commence in the December-January timeframe after a town hall meeting on December 3rd. At that town hall meeting, all the details for scheduling your installation will be provided. The Internet Oversight Committee will be sending out updates this fall with more information as the project progresses. On the matter of 2668 Bellingham Court, as of today, the owners did not respond within their allotted period to the complaint filed on behalf of the association in Lee County Civil Court on Friday, July 25th. Association counsel has since filed a request for a clerk's default against the property owner with the court clerk. Once the clerk's default is entered, all the allegations against the owner of 2668 Bellingham are deemed to be admitted. After the clerk's default is entered, Sandoval's counsel will file a motion for a final default judgment, seeking relief against the owners, which will include an injunction against further renting of the individual rooms. These actions will take some time to work through the civil court process, so I ask for everyone's patience as we work through this litigation. With that, I will now turn it over to the treasurer for his report.
Good evening, everyone. 2025 budget, year-to-date income is above budgeted income. Year-to-date house sales as of 7/31 is 27. Forecast for year is 75. And if we continue at this rate, we're gonna be under budget by $108,000. Expenses are under budget. Reserve assessment funds, popular reserve balance is 364,424. Fifth third balance is 4,290,472, and the year-to-date market yield is 3.09. It's slowly decreasing. Total reserve balance is 4,654,897. The reserve spend year-to-date is 356,191. I've had a meeting with Precedent to discuss banking options to increase the interest rates next week. I've also spoken to another bank that said they can offer a higher interest rate, and Chuck actually talked to another bank that can offer a higher rate. So this is Popular's pretty much last chance to either do something with our interest or we're going to move our accounts. The two banks were Bank of the Ozarks and Truist, and both of those banks have a relationship with Precedent, and they're integrated into their system, so that shouldn't be a big deal to move it. Those residents that have ACH, of course, will have to redo that, but that's down the road. Also met with Precedent to resolve coding issues. Should be resolved with the August financials. What they're doing is they have their invoice system connected to AI. So AI generates the GL codes for the invoice, and we've started seeing issues with that. So they're in the process of correcting all of that. The auditing firm continues to work through the issues created by the prior management company. I received an email from the auditor this morning saying that he is close to being done with the audit. So there's a few outstanding issues that he's waiting on Precedent to provide. But once that gets taken care of, I'm hoping to see the audit ended. Year-to-date financials. Again, the operating income is above plan. Operating expense is below plan. There's misleading future expenses later this year. That's why the operating budget is so far below plan. In September, or correct me if I'm wrong, or October, we're going to be doing the tree trimming and then mulch. And then there's also power washing the Esplanade. So that's when those expenses will catch up. Reserve expenses below plan. Total income better than plan. Total expenses better than plan. Major expenses. Utilities is above plan. And contracted services is also above plan. And that overall, though, the major expenses are below plan. Reserve expense again is below plan. Professional services higher than plan due to Bloomstream fiber and legal services. Door fee adjustment makes the actual variance only $12,261. Total other expenses is $189,000 above plan with door fee included of $75,012. Balance sheet. The negative 343,670 is a clearing count from Associa, and I'm hoping to see that resolved in the next month with the auditor completing his work. Incorporating operating and reserves into one report, but I'm still in separate accounts, as everyone knows. And they also corrected last month, we had a negative $326 or something like that net. And that was a coding issue that they corrected, so it's back to where it belongs at 0. Delinquencies. This is what happens every quarter, that there's an assessment that's to be paid. The master assessment delinquencies jumped up, and what will happen is, as the months go on, you'll see that number come down. The special assessment delinquencies went from 66 last month to 60 this month, but the overall total discrepancies jumped by 58, again because of the first quarter, or because of the quarterly assessments due. Overall, between the master assessment and the special assessment, we have $238,730 in delinquency assessment fees. Reserve spend, the 2 items down at the bottom highlighted in yellow, I know it's hard to read. One is salt cells for the pool, and the other is water main break. Those were unbudgeted reserve expenses, and I'm just trying to keep track of those moving forward. I do know we're going to get another bill for the salt cells, and hopefully there won't be any more water main breaks this year. But the total year to date through July 31st is $356,191. And that's my report. Does anybody have any questions?
Well, I just have one comment. So we were able to finally get transition of all the delinquency information or the collection information from Becker to Varnum Law Firm.
What I don't know is, I don't know if Becker had any additional information. What I did was I got all the information that Precedent had.
Yeah.
And I passed that on to Chris.
Well, and then Becker also passed on everything that they had, and so
Okay.
that was in a correspondence. So right now, I believe Varnum has everything they have to start pursuing the top collections.
Correct.
Okay.
Because well, let me back up. The only thing that email said from Christie, she was asking for a specific resident.
Yep.
And that's what I provided.
Yep.
If she's looking for other information, then she's got to let me know.
No, well, and I also, she got back to me and said that she got with Becker,
Okay.
everything she got needed from Becker.
Okay.
So I believe we should be moving forward with that. We'll just have to stay on top of Varnum to get going with that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any other questions for Dave?
Is there a pattern to the 60 people who have not paid the special assessment?
Yeah, there's the groups don't pay the regular assessments either.
Oh, okay.
And that's a good portion of it. What the problem is with the special assessments, some people paid for 4 of the 5 quarters and then never paid the last one. And then there's some people that got caught up with, they finally made the final payment, but it was either late or it wasn't in full. So now they're getting nickel and dimed every month for late fees. And, other than sending them notices, I'm not sure what else we can do.
So can we look at, see if there's some that we can just clear by,
I can put together something that says, dollar ranges.
Right.
It says this many has this much. I did that a while ago.
yeah, because we did clear up some.
Yes. But I can put that together and give it to the board, and the board can decide if we want to waive it.
Yeah, because I think the important thing is to go after the people that haven't paid or are still missing 1 or 2 quarterly payments.
All right. That's very easy to do.
Yeah. Okay. Very good.
I have a question. A couple slides ago, you said that contracted services are above plan due to CCPD, the police detail. That means that we're over budgeting for that. So we're above. Is this going to be every month, or how are we going to catch up to that?
When the CCPD is coming out of safety and security. So as long as we have them here, that's gonna be unbudgeted. It's gonna go over budget.
So
Well,
it'll go over
let me hold
budget.
on.
It'll pretty much go over budget every month
Can
because
I,
it's not there.
let me just,
Hold on, Bill. Let him finish.
But the board voted to approve having CCPD come in, even though it was gonna be put us over budget for safety and security.
Do you find that to be a good thing for our budget? I mean, that doesn't seem logical.
Well, you gotta look at what was going on in here before the police came in, and sometimes to me, it was a good decision.
Well, I asked for a list several times. I never received it, and you said was, so it's no longer happening, is what you're saying?
Then I misspoke. I'm saying that the board approved CCPD coming in. I do not have any type of reports
Me either.
on what has transpired other than the number of incidents I have been told has gone down.
Me too. I haven't seen any reports. I haven't seen a list of the incidents. I've asked for it, and now we're over budget every single month because of this.
so can I just correct one thing?
Yes.
Stan, in the March resolution, we approved to increase the safety and security budget by $65,000 to cover specifically Cape Coral Police Department. So it was a unanimous vote by the board to increase that line item of the budget. It's just that mechanically, it has not been updated in the reports that we get from precedent. So if you go back and look at the wording of the March resolution, we unanimously approved an increase of that budget line.
But we're still going over.
No, because the precedent has not updated the budget for that line item to reflect what we approved as an increase for it mid-year.
What is it budgeted for?
It was originally budgeted for 100 grand in the 2025 budget, and then in the resolution, the specific wording of the resolution was to increase the budget from 100,000 to 165,000, specifically to cover Cape Coral Police Department expenses.
And what does Cape Coral Police Department, what specifically is their budget?
Well, we budgeted for that from that point to the end of the year, and that was $65,000.
But we're going over.
No, we're not, because if you look, if you adjust the budget to 165, I think you'll find that we're in budget.
Yeah.
Well, no, if we put budget at $67,000, right?
65,000.
$65,000 for the CCPD, and we're spending 6,700 to 7,000 a month. It's over.
No, it's not. We've spent 22,000 year to date. I've got a copy of all the invoices.
Okay, I like to see them.
Okay, I can email them to you, or in fact, I got them on my laptop right here. I can send them to you.
I also want to see the list of the crimes that were reported prior to getting the CCPD involved here.
I mean, the vandalism list.
The crimes, whatever they are. The reason for having CCPD in property.
So we'll talk about this more when we get to the resolution.
To the
Okay,
motion.
to the motion, yes.
Yeah,
Or the Lisa's resolution.
Well, it's a motion. It becomes a resolution after the motion is voted in. Right?
No, it's
Actually, no, motion and resolution are the same thing, is resolution just more formal.
You have to make a motion before it becomes a resolution. Go ahead.
No,
You can look it up.
it's semantics.
Not semantics. It's Robert's rules of but you go ahead.
Do we have any other questions for Dave on the budget?
Mm.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Chuck,
Yeah, so I usually just do a talking point, but I decided to do a little bit of a show and tell, and I put together a couple of slides here so I can talk through them if use it as my. So the conversation is around the pool. As Bill mentioned, we spent a good part of 3 or 4 weeks getting this pool put together. Again, going back years when this was originally planned. What you see here is the features pump and plumbing for, this is the before picture of that particular, that's the slide, and those features out there are all run by that plumbing and those pumps. Go ahead, Dave. This is after. It's kind of hard to see because I took the picture this morning and the sun was blasting my eyes, but those are the same pumps with the new plumbing. You can see the difference that we see here from the old version. This was our control panel. Those boxes that are hanging on the wall is really what controls the majority of the equipment out there. And next, this is the after. This is the new control panel. Now that wall will be finished. They currently need to get to the front and back of those devices. Once they're finished with all the fine tuning, we will put up boards that will protect those instruments. This is a light. Once you drop the water in the pool, you can see how that light is poking out. And I don't have an after because I don't have an underwater camera, but all of those lights have been resealed and fixed, so we don't have that problem anymore. There was probably about 6 or 7 lights that popped out like that. And a couple of them actually came all the way out. Now we get into the palm tree. What this illustrates is a level of rust that the palm tree, one of the palm fronds we lost in Hurricane Ian, when we went up there to sand this and paint it, it was decided that this is enough stress fractures in that to become a situation that would be a safety issue. So they've all been removed. This is just another picture of the cracks and rust that are holding those palm fronds up. The buckets. So the pool feature buckets. One of them's right over here. I thought we were gonna have a bigger crowd. You can check it out. But Rob, I think these have been fabricated over once at least.
They may have been repaired once before. It's hard to tell because I don't know how they were built.
Yeah.
But you can see inside that there's
Welded or something?
no, they're all fiberglass plastic, and the tube running through it's like PVC. I don't know where it really is,
Yeah.
but it looks like there was either the way they were constructed. There was like where these things come out to the walls. There's a whole bunch of putty behind them, or Fondo or whatever it is. But it looks like they could have been repaired once before, but that's the way they are. So
Yeah. The PVC pipe in there was stripped, kind of making it a lot of weight that's being held on like a spindle. 7 pounds per gallon. I'm not sure how many gallons fit in there. You could kind of lift that thing. And structurally, we just didn't feel confident that a repair would work. So
It's a hazard.
it's a hazard, yeah, deemed unsafe. Well, luckily, we were able to find the original company, and we've ordered replacement, brand new ones. So they're being fabricated now. Those will be put back up. This is the new electrical panel for the pool. There's 2 of those sub panels out there. No longer rust and beat up and dingy looking. The connections are all brand new. So that was probably the main emphasis of this particular renovation was the electrical system and the plumbing system. This is a picture of the new salt and chemical areas. All the way to the left is a salt bin, it's a salt pool. It draws salt in. The other containers are there's an enzyme that goes into the pool that breaks up suntan lotion, and the other ones are chlorine, which is a supplement for the salt system. When we get 2 or 3 inches of rain here, the salt system can't keep up, and the chlorine is added just to supplement the system. And that's been on a poured slab, and those were kind of scattered amongst the equipment. We've kind of consolidated them all in one area. And then this is not related to the actual pool itself, but this is one of the new umbrellas and chairs that were added, that were purchased. This is part of a 3-year plan to replace the broken ones and supplement with new ones. So we have another year next year to kind of cull out the rest of them, which at that point we should have everything should be 3 years and under. Those are the new lounge chairs. You can tell the new ones from the old ones because the old ones have like a blue stripe on the top. These are comfortable height. So they were out there as well. Moving on to the flex room. This is the before. That's one of the 5 windows that needs to be replaced. And these are the new windows that we're waiting on a building permit. Once we get the building permit, we can put those windows in, get them inspected, and then kind of continue with the rest of the project. Once we get the windows still leak, right? The old ones, they haven't been fixed. So we have to fix the windows first before we can put the floor and the walls back together again. So, and then last but not least, this is kind of a concern in the community. We continue to hound Waste Pro. Some of their garbage trucks have hydraulic leaks. They have come out and they've come out and just thrown kitty litter on them, pretending like that was going to clean it. They had another truck come out here more in depth that kind of scrubbed it. There's still a number of this. This is kind of like an ongoing issue. We get some cleaned up, and then there's a report of another street that has it. So we've been working our way up the management ladder at Waste Pro, but I just want everybody to know that this is something that we're watching. This we've used to just watch for LCEC, which streetlights are out, and just report it to LCEC. Now we have Waste Pro and LCEC that we're kind of talking to on a monthly basis. So I just want to let you know this is still on our radar. We're actively pursuing them. We're at their mercy when they finally show up to clean it, but I just want everybody to know that we continue to hound them to make sure that we're not forgotten. I think that's my last slide.
That's it.
I do have a couple of other points. This afternoon, an email blast went out in Vera on September 3rd, which is next Wednesday. From 5:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. is doing a nationwide upgrade of their servers. And how that affects us is our 2 visitor gates will open and remain open during that time frame. The resident gates will work and the exit gates will work. We will blast that out today through the weekend and next week so people are aware. The other thing I want to mention, we've only had 1 gate strike this month.
Wow.
It was an e-bike following a car, and I can't believe how consistent this average number of gym attendance is. It's like 83 or 85 every month. So the gym itself just continues to stay at a regular, steady pace of 80 people on any given every day coming to the gym. So we've upped it, as we mentioned. The board has approved monthly instead of quarterly maintenance, and they always find something. There's cracks in some of the pads, and they always need some kind of cleaning and maintenance. So, last but not least, a little over a year ago, we took a lightning strike on the boulevard and near Greendale, which affected 2 LCEC streetlights. And we were told that they needed to run bore wires underneath the ground. They finally did that this week. The wires are there, but they still haven't connected them. They did some damage over there, but we'll make sure that we get it sod replaced. But those 2 lights have been out for over a year now, and it's at least it looks like LC is moving it along. So the wire is there. So we just need them to hook it up. That's it for me. If anybody has any questions.
Chuck, what day are they in Vera doing their
Wednesday, next Wednesday, the 3rd, 5:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. And it's a nationwide server upgrade. They're taking their servers from their data centers and are moving it to the cloud.
You think we can get the security guard to come in early on a Sunday to just be around?
Yeah, anything's possible. I mean, I could put a call in if you want them. I don't know what they're going to do because we really are not going to stop cars because they won't have the ability to. They don't have the system to know who's.
Yeah, just to be around for the bicycles that come in. It is a Sunday. Kids are out of school.
it's
I'm just
Wednesday.
saying.
It's a Wednesday.
Oh, it's a Wednesday. I'm sorry. I thought you said the 3rd. Oh, September 3rd. Never
September
mind.
3rd.
I'm
Yeah.
going August 3rd. That's my fault.
Yeah, so I mean, if we want to do a security guard, it probably would be good to do it in the after school hours.
Yeah, we can actually have Scott come in 3 hours early.
That might be worthwhile just to keep an eye on things because it's,
Oh,
because we had some number of issues when we had the gate outage earlier this year. All right. Any other questions for Chuck? Okay.
there's other show and tell here for you guys. There's another piece of rusted metal that you're welcome to
Okay.
take a look at. So
Titanic.
it was a lot of money, but I just want to let you know it was well spent.
Do we have any rough number of what we're going to be spending to replace all these amenities yet?
Well, the finance committee, we've got a rough number of like 18 to 25,000 is kind of the number that we're hearing from different. It ridiculously priced
Yeah.
if you look for what they are.
Yeah.
The water comes up like a hose inside.
Yeah.
So there's no internal magic that's happening.
Yeah.
It's just a glorified hose with a nozzle on it, but it's got some feature that's but
From
18 to 25.
From a timing
Nothing for-
perspective, are we looking at it this year or next year?
Well, I think we pretty much we do have reserve.
Well, I'm just from terms of once we get the quotes and everything, do we think we can get it done this year or will it be a next year project?
Good question. I mean, if the buckets are taking 5 weeks, it could be in that 5 to 6
Okay,
weeks.
so it's
Yeah,
we can do
possible.
it this year. Okay,
Possible.
good. Okay, thank you. All right. Next item on the agenda is violations. Unless there's an objection, I'm going to suggest that we vote on all these violations as a group. Do I have any objections to that? No. Okay, so let me read these off one at a time and then we will deal with them as a group. We have account 979-52474 AGD, Dirty Roof. Account 979-52542 AGD, Dirty Roof. Account number 979-52668 BHC, Dirty Roof. Account 979-51800 CNC, shutter still in use. Account 979-5249898 GPL, Dirty Roof. Account number 979-52717 LBC, Dirty Roof. Account 979-527-721 LBC, Dirty Roof. Account 979-527-36 LBC, Dirty Roof. Account 979-5264 MLC, Dirty Roof. Account 979-52645 SLC. Account 979-527-20 VOC, Dirty Roof. Account 979-527-22 VOC, Dirty Roof. Account 979-52551 WBC, Dirty Roof. Do I have a motion to approve the violation of $100 on all these accounts?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Yes, Jen.
Are these after having given more than one notice?
All of going through the packet, all of these have received 3 notices, so this is after their 3rd notice.
There was another factor in dirty roofs is that if you've got a whole bunch at once, sometimes it takes a while to schedule a cleanup. Has anyone offered that as an excuse, as far as you know, Chuck?
No,
That's too bad.
Yeah.
I mean there are some that when they get the letter, they realize that they need to get the roof cleaned and they clean the roof and
So
they're
they
not
haven't
on
got-
that list.
You
These
don't
are
get a
the-
letter until after this, is that it?
No, the people that get a letter and say, "Oh my God, my roof's dirty,"
Yeah.
they schedule it and get it cleaned. These are the people that don't respond to the letters.
Then let's go with it. Yeah.
What's the difference between a level 3 violation and a level 2 violation?
Level 1 is a friendly, which is the first letter. 14 days later is level 2. And then 10 days after that, level 3. So you've got 14, 10, and 10 before it comes to the board. So you're 34 days before it actually comes here. That's if the board meeting is actually scheduled exactly at that time. So that more than likely, you you probably got about 50 days before you get here. And then from here, then you go to the grievance, the
Governance
violations
committee.
committee.
Okay.
So you're looking at 60 days to address the situation.
Okay.
Okay. All those in favor of approving the violations for $100, please say aye. Aye. None opposed? Okay, thank you. All right, that's an old business.
Hey, Bill, I have just one question about all this paperwork.
Yeah.
Do we have to have, I mean, this is great. This is a summary of each one, what the violation was, who it is, the house, the address. Do we need this to go along with it? I mean, I know this is all in the office. It's all recorded in their file. Do we physically, as board of directors, need this? I mean, we can go if we have a question about one of them comes. Ask about it. I'm just asking about waste of paper.
So I can check with our attorney about this, but my assumption is that as we have done in the past, board members have scrutinized whether or not we followed the process for the 3 violation letters. And in fact, I think there was at least a meeting a couple meetings ago where at least 1 or 2 board members did not vote for the violation because they did not believe that the paperwork was accurate. So if you just got that single sheet, you would have no way of verifying that we followed the appropriate process to get them to the stage to violate.
I have a suggestion and question. Suppose you send the whole thing out in an email and only the summary and print it. That way you save a lot of paper.
To do that, actually,
Would
this
that be
time,
reasonable? Would it be legal?
yeah, because you have it electronically. You
Yeah.
have all the letters electronically. But this time we actually did 2-sided instead of
Yeah,
Yeah,
single-sided.
that's
that
much better.
saves some
than
paper,
the
but-
side thing,
yeah.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna say, why is it 2-sided instead of one side?
That's great.
Even more paper.
Yeah, I mean, I could send out a summary, which is really, each individual like you have there. And you'll get your email packet just like the regular.
With all the
With all the details.
with all the details in it.
The
Yeah.
governance committee gets all the letter.
Yes. So that means that we have to spend time reviewing those letters before the meeting so that we can satisfy that the process has been followed properly.
Sure.
I mean, we got to follow the process. Okay.
You gave us the opportunity. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
Okay. All right. Any other comments on this before we move on to old business? Okay. First one is a resolution to reduce the number of days for Cape Coral Police Department patrols and a review of a Sandoval and review activity log. Lisa, could you read your motion, please?
Yes. So whereas Florida law section 720.3031 grants the association powers to maintain and manage such property such as private roads, and under Florida law section 720.3031, where the association is responsible for maintaining and protecting common amenities, which includes taking reasonable steps to prevent or mitigate vandalism to these areas. And whereas Florida statute section 316.0062B provides the framework for the Cape Coral Police Department to exercise traffic control jurisdiction over private roads, be it resolved that Association Board of Directors is amending the resolution on this topic approved March 27th, 2025, and authorizes adopting a modified schedule of Cape Coral Police Patrol to provide part-time patrol of the Sandoval community roads and common properties from between 3 to 7 days a week at the discretion of the board president, treasurer, and liaison to safety and security. Flexibility in scheduling will be determined by need and activities within the community. The objectives of the part-time patrol will remain for the Cape Coral Police Department to provide mitigation of trespassing within the community, deterring of vandalism on common amenities, and providing enforcement of all allowable traffic laws as defined by Florida law. The general manager will maintain coordination between the Cape Coral Police Department and the existing private security agency currently under contract with the association. So this,
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Rob, a second. Okay, so Lisa, could you please?
so this proposal is based on, with a very few exceptions, we have seen a dramatic decrease in the vandalism, trespassing, and reckless behavior since we started this patrol back in April. So in an effort to be a good steward and be mindful of our residents' budget dollars, I was proposing that we amend it and scale back that schedule to potentially 3 or 4 days a week, see how that works, and if there's issues, we still have the ability to go back to what was initially approved as a daily patrol.
Okay. Do we have comments? Stan, do you want to say anything?
I just have a comment in reference to the allowable traffic laws, but there's nothing to be changed. I mean, the police can't do anything about the traffic laws anyway, but it doesn't hurt the motion or make it, so I'm okay with it. So I agree with her that when it was brought up, maybe it wasn't well thought out, or maybe it was, but here we are. And from what Lisa says, and from the speaking with everybody and looking around and watching and everything else that goes around, it has become a fact that their crime supposedly has gone down that we had. So I completely support her in dropping down to 3 days and saving money to the residents and go forth.
Does any other board member have a comment?
My concern is going from 7 to 3. I'd rather drop it down gradually and maybe go to 5. And then if that doesn't cause any problems, then drop it down to 3. The reason I liked Lisa's resolution is because it allows the flexibility for us to react based on the activities inside the community. So I would support going down to 5 days, but I don't know that I could support going down to 3.
So what was when you were working on this, Lisa, what was the thought that would be the first step down?
Well, I initially thought 3 or 4 days, because
Okay.
mainly like the weekend coverage, I think is more the times when we were having situations. But I mean, I'm open to amending that within that range.
Okay, John?
Well, sounds to me like we say go down to 3, but we can react immediately if that's wrong.
I don't believe that's true because you have to make the schedule out a month in advance. So if we drop down to 3, we're stuck with 3 for the month
And
until the schedule was made up for the following month.
and
Is that right?
Yeah, they the way that the police union is saying they put this out for a month, and all the officers get an opportunity, fair shake at putting in for it. And they need at least that much leeway in time. They don't want to kind of give them 2 days notice to bid on the overtime
So
assignment.
we have another month before all the schools and colleges start up again. Huh?
It
well,
started this week.
they started this
School
week,
does,
so
but some colleges don't.
Colleges started. Most
yeah.
of them started this week.
So also, I mean, procedurally, John, the current application that we sent to the CCPD, I think goes through September 15th. So we're going to have to do an amended,
Okay.
revised application or a subsequent application beyond September 15th
Okay.
to start with.
Okay.
And every time we adjust the days, not only do we have to, we have to refill up this application form and submit it to the police department.
I just think we need to make sure that whatever the month, when Halloween comes up, we're back up to standard.
Well, Halloween is, I mean, in fairness, Halloween is a separate event and there's a separate budget for specific police protection during that night. So Halloween is not affected by this, I should
Okay.
say.
All right.
You agree with that, Stan?
Yeah, I agree 100%. We're actually adding a police officer for Halloween night, so it'll be more coverage during Halloween.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there was like
I don't-
4 last year.
It's
How many police officers do we have
It's like
last year?
10.
10.
10. Yeah, so I mean, we'll have pretty good coverage on Halloween.
If I could go back a little bit, I mean, I support her motion 100%. However, I'd rather see zero. But I do support Lisa's vision and her hard work and dedication towards this because there's still a lot of issues with it. And I see the log, which looks great. I mean, we don't have any kind of guidance for the police officers at all. Mostly the complaints that I keep getting from the residents is that they're just hiding at the dog park or hanging out with a security guard. We haven't had any positive reports in reference to the police officer doing any kind of stops or crime stopping. We need to have some kind of report from them of what they do if they're going to be paying, if we're going to be paying all this money. Um, I believe the 3 days a week will be perfect for the weekends. During the week, we have the security officer, and that was my second because I just saw the CCPD draft log that I definitely want to vote on so that we can keep track of what they're doing. Because, like I stated last time, as a prior former police officer, these details are cake. I could come in 5, 6 hours, hide, go home, and get paid. I don't have to do anything. Everybody wants to sign up for this. But we need to monitor it better so that we know where the money's going.
All right, so I'd just like to make a comment. I will be voting no on this resolution. I do not support cutting back on the Cape Coral Police Department patrols and will vote no to cut down the number of patrol days for the remainder of this year. I believe the patrols have been effective in achieving their intended objectives. It is my opinion reducing the patrols will over time result with a return to the disruptive behavior, trespassing, and property vandalism we experienced prior to the patrols. Any other comments or discussion before we vote?
Well, during the discussion, I just want to agree with you 100% that the so-called vandalism and everything else went down, so it works. So when something works, then you get rid of it because it's over and done with. If we have crime spike in Sandoval, which that doesn't make any sense, then we can just call the cops and we pay for them. They can come and they can arrest people and do the reports and vandalism and everything else that they're supposed to be doing. We don't have to pay an extra detail for them to not do anything, but then respond to the vandalism anyway. Doesn't make any sense.
John?
The way the motion reads now is 3 days, is that correct?
No.
It reads between 3 to 7 days, so we would have flexibility.
So we'll sit down, but since it appears to be
Well,
that the
who
intent of the
determine-
board
who
is
determines which one it is? You?
The president, treasurer, and liaison to safety
fine
and
with me.
security. which is
Okay.
me.
right.
Let's go.
I mean, but the
Let's go.
decision will have to be in concurrence with what the board decision,
That's fine.
the sense of the board requires. It's not going to be
I'm with you.
okay. Any other discussion before we vote on this? All those in favor of the resolution proposed by Lisa to reduce the number of days for the police patrol, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Now, I don't believe that we need a vote on the log because we are going to be requiring that log as part of the application that gets submitted to them, that we want them to fill it out going forward.
I mean, we can make it a part of the packet and then just approve it so that it's part of anything that happens from now on. It'll be a quick motion.
Can you make a motion to approve the log?
Sure. I move to approve the log that is proposed so that in conjunction with the resolution of CCPD patrol, that we have a better documentation of their activities.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nope. Okay. All right. The next item under old business is the Sandoval Committee summary. That's included in your packet. It was presented to us last month, and we were requested to make any comments on it, or any edits to it. And at this point, I'd like to have the board vote to approve that it'll get released to the community. I make a motion to approve the draft document presented by the management team.
I'll second.
Where's-
Stan, you got a question?
Yeah, I don't see it.
It's on the back of the
It's on the
activity.
back. It's this thing. It's on the back, it's on the back of. Somewhere over
The
there.
activity log.
I must. Oh, the back there. Here it is. All right.
And I just have one question because, like, for example, this month, September, we had to change the meeting date. Is
Mhm.
that okay?
Yes,
Putting
because
this out,
things are
is
going to
that-
be changing. It's the important thing is to get the correct dates on the calendar on Life Sandoval.
Gotcha.
Right. Any other questions or comments on the stand? All those in favor of approving this document, please say aye. Aye. None opposed? Okay. All right. Moving on. Okay. First item under new business is the approval of John Grohl to join the Rules Committee. His application is included in the package. He's a member of of a couple other, of at least one other committee, so he's been helping us out with Hidden Lane, so I would make a motion to accept his membership to the Rules Committee.
Second it.
Questions, comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Good man.
Yeah. Okay. The next item under within my paperwork caught up here. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the quote for Ashbury Road repairs with Apex Paving. Do I have a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Okay, Chuck, could you go through the details of this proposal, please?
Yes, actually, it was brought to our attention at the neighborhood rep meeting by one of the reps. You can see in your packet, there's some pictures of the deterioration of the roadway along the Surfside fence. We did hire a company to come out to actually check the underground pipes and drains, stormwater drains. There didn't seem to be any problems there, and therefore this is just kind of typical erosion. So in this would be to strip the entire roadway down to shell gravel and then re-gravel it and then put a coat on top as per specs and remove all debris from the construction area. You can see and there's also roughly 500 and some odd feet of concrete paving for what we refer to as the gutters. Some of those have cracked as well. So it's not only is it asphalt, but it's actually some concrete gutters as well.
So Chuck, are they gonna replace all the concrete gutter from one end to the other, or just pieces of it?
Just the pieces that are broken that need to be replaced.
Okay.
It's kind of centralized in one area.
Okay, because yeah, I was talking to one guy who was a paver, he did it for living, and he said that most of the damage was from water.
Yeah.
And so that if the gutter's low, there's still gonna be water unless it drains properly, but yeah, I guess they're gonna take care of some of that, so.
Yeah.
Chuck, is this the same company that did the sidewalk?
Apex is the company that we approved last meeting on the insurance waiver. This company is also quoted on Hayden Lane, and this company is one of the top companies that City of Cape Coral uses. The Seaton is the one that we use for the concrete sidewalk. But these companies do both concrete and asphalt, all three of them.
Yeah, I see Apex everywhere. Working on Cape Coral roads.
Any other questions for Chuck on this? Dave, this got reviewed by the Finance Committee? Got approved?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Any other questions or comments on this before we vote?
Perfect. So who's choosing which one of these three?
I believe the resolution is to approve Apex. That's your recommended one, correct, Chuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
The
Seaton
resolution.
is $1,000, not even $1,000 less.
Right.
But we want to really give Apex an opportunity. We've worked with Seaton. They actually did the storm drain work out here. So I want to give Apex a shot at it.
Yeah.
They come highly recommended.
Right. That's one.
Okay,
I was just, I didn't see the resolution, but
okay. All right, all those in favor of approving the quote from Apex Paving to do the repair work on Ashbury, please raise your hand and say aye. Aye. None opposed? Pass unanimously. Okay. Last item on new business is an insurance waiver request. JV Bugs Pest Control is a longtime vendor of Sandoval, and the request is to, per the vendor policy, to approve a waiver of their auto insurance limits from $1 million to $500,000. Do I have a second for that resolution?
I'll second.
Questions or comments on that?
If I can just
Yeah.
quick comment here, because we remember Certificial,
Yeah.
we talked about this is what Certificial does. It's an automated system that when it comes time to renew their insurance, it says, hey, there's they're not actually at the level that we need. So I just wanted to let you guys know Certificial is working. So it monitors our vendors to make sure that they're in compliance with Sandoval liability insurance requirements and all that.
Very good.
this is the service we use in other words, right?
That's the service that we use. Yeah, they watch over all of our insurance.
Is that a
Good.
precedent thing, or is that something that you?
This goes back to risk management, probably about
Yeah.
a year and a
A
half.
little bit over a year ago, they were Todd and Bill Dunker were really pretty pretty high on this company as a way to sort of automate validating the insurance coverage
Make
of
sure
our
the costs stay
vendors.
right.
So it's a pretty modest fee, but I think we've also got some there's some redundant capabilities in the precedent system, so we need to look at whether or not we would continue it next year or not.
Okay.
So, all right. So did we? So did we vote on this? No.
No, not yet.
Okay. All those in favor of approving the waiver from 1 million to 500,000 for JV bags, please raise your hand and say aye. Aye. None opposed? Okay. All right. Committee reports.
You're up.
Okay. Let me get my notes out on that. So for the internet, I'll try to be a bit more concise than last month. With regards to the construction activity, all permits by the city have been completed. The critical path item for the construction project has been USIC is a third-party company that does the locates, that is the colored markings on the streets and the yards. They have Blue Stream has escalated and is monitoring at their vice president level the daily activity of USIC in this community. They are running into issues with USIC across our construction project and other construction projects are doing this summer. So it seems to be an issue with this particular company who's a single source supplier for this service in this area. So, but they still believe that we will be on track to complete the construction by the October timeframe. Just to put things in perspective, as of today, as of this morning, we have logged 25 actionable items by the construction project that needed to be repaired or required a refund to the owner for repair work that they had to do. That is out of 583 homes that have seen this construction activity occur over the last 2 months. So, and we're going to be updating this information on a weekly basis and keep you guys informed on the status there.
These are actual damages. It's not just sod.
Well, STAD's included. Sometimes when they fill in the trench, if the fill-in is not adequate, they go back and put in sod. In fact, tomorrow, Blue Stream is spending the whole day just replacing sod in as many places that they've identified.
Yeah, I had a truck in here visit today.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there a list or something that they go by, or do you have?
Yes.
Do you have to?
So they coordinate with Val Zielinski and Frank Hennigan every location homeowner location that has to require sod or repair.
Mhm.
And also Frank and Val will be keeping an eye on any activity, repair work that needs to be done along the Esplanade when they do the runs there.
Okay, good.
Okay. So they've been pretty quick. They even turned around in under a couple days a check for $4,500 for a sewer repair. So they've been, they're trying to work as quickly as possible. The other thing is that if you want to go take a peek, they installed their generator behind the bushes near the Veterans Gate. So they got the concrete pads in place and the generator, and then they'll have their cabinet up next.
Oh, it is, they have done it down at Veterans.
Pardon me?
They have installed that part of it.
The generator is there, yes. Yes, John.
You might want to comment for the record on the observation that Blue Stream is not rated well under D&B and so forth. Some of our residents have said that on Facebook, and I think they need to clarify that was an old company they acquired, and they're quite reputable today. I'd like
Yes,
to
I mean, that
mention
was part of the due diligence that we did during the proposal review process. We talked to 3 or 4 different communities that had recent installations with Blue Stream Fiber. I personally talked to the one um, community out on the East Coast that had some issues with their construction, and that was primarily related to the particular geography of that they were actually on a shale shelf. So they had a lot more issues relative to getting down deep enough to bury the cables, having to get through the shale rock. So, but if you look at that, they have 2 Better Business Bureau sites, and the second site has a much better track record of positive recommendations.
I mean, the bottom line is that it's their first year. It's a gigantic property. We're going to have issues.
Yeah,
We're going to have issues. We're just going to have to deal with them for the whole year, and they're going to get better. And, it's going to work itself out. So
yeah,
we just got to be prepared for that. So,
yeah. I mean, and I think I really got to give my hats off to Val and Frank. I mean, if once they get notified something, they're on the phone with Alex, the contractor, and the 3 of them go out there and look at the location, and they all agree what to do what the repairs to be done, and work with the homeowners. And Val's been very good about email follow-ups to make sure the homeowners are satisfied. So we're
I
trying to
think
stay on top of this.
I think it's worth repeating that we're going to get 1,000 megabit internet moving to 2,000 megabit internet, gigabit internet, and no price increase for 9 years at
Right.
$27 a month.
if
29.
my kids
20 what?
can't game, I'll let you know. I'll
Well,
let you know if my kids can't play their video game. I'll
well,
go right to your house.
and
Saying that
once you get your 2 Wi-Fi 7 pods in there, maybe that might help your gaming.
There you
oh,
go.
yeah,
Okay.
I'll do it.
that's a hell of a bargain.
So it's going to be interesting. We're going to the other thing the Internet Oversight Committee is going to do is we're going to start putting out some notices to the community in the fall timeframe. So um, asking people, what's your Wi-Fi network name? What's your Wi-Fi password? So that you don't have to figure it out when the technician shows up to do your installation. We have some residents that are on older embarked email addresses that will no longer be active once we leave CenturyLink. So we'll have a few things like that we're going to start providing information to the community to start getting ready for January.
Um, during this is the only thing I have for social, so I'm moving ahead a little bit. We talked about having somebody come in and explain the moving the TV and the Wi-Fi and this and that, and we came up with an idea of having actually Blue Stream employee. I'm sure they have somebody come in and hold a couple of classes, I guess, so that people can come in. Maybe it'll change the way that people are thinking about Blue Stream. If Blue Stream themselves came in and say, "Hey, this is what we're going to do. The Wi-Fi's got to be changed." I didn't even think about the emails being lost.
Yeah.
But get them ready, and then maybe it'll make everybody feel all warm and fuzzy that Blue Stream is coming in way ahead of time.
So I'll reach out to Blue Stream and we'll reach out to the social committee, see what we can do. I'll go. My one concern is that we have a pretty crowded social calendar between September and December when we got the the town hall schedule.
It's a lot.
So we'll have to figure out how we can get that in at some point, but
It's
we'll
understood.
we'll work on that. Okay, any other questions on internet before we move on? Okay, since Dave O'Donnell is not here, we'll skip communications. Move on to ARC.
Pretty quiet with ARC right in a minute. We've had, 20 applications, 17 approved, 3 denied. That's over the last month. So not, no problem, childs, no, you know,
I have a question. How long, like, let's say if I put an application in, and I get approved, how long do I have to do the work?
a year.
Okay.
Although we did make some allowances during the posting and roof issues for
Yeah,
people to deal with their
if you
insurance
have a
issues.
legitimate reason why you can't get it done.
Lazy.
You just, what's that?
I'm lazy. I gotta paint the house, but I'm not getting around to it.
Hire someone, Stan.
Ugh.
Pay the kids. They say, tell the kids,
Yeah.
no games.
Yes. Right. No password until you paint the house.
That's right. Change the password on the Wi-Fi.
Okay. Any other questions on ARC?
Had a call.
Okay, Rules Committee. Rules Committee had a meeting this week. It was primarily meeting with Association Council, where he reviewed best practices to be considered if we decide to move ahead to update and revise the governing documents of the community. We will be meeting again in September to discuss the process, and if the Rules Committee votes to recommend that we start the process, that proposal will be in front of the board at the October meeting to give the authorization to start the revision process.
We're almost running out of time though, if we're gonna have community input from it, right?
Well, one of the best practices that was we discussed was not to include this as part of the board election cycle, to have this as a separate election,
Okay.
so that you have, and so that the community had adequate time. He suggested that we'd have to have 2 or 3 town halls to talk about the revisions. Something invariably is going to come up that wasn't considered, so there's going to be a revision cycle to go through before a final draft would be approved by the board for vote by the community.
Would there be an opportunity for a cumulative quorum?
No,
Doing that?
it's straight vote, just like for the
But
elections.
you have to have a 428
Yes.
to do anything. Yeah.
It's got to follow the rules.
Yeah.
And
So-
their bylaws, if changed, they get changed during their annual meeting.
At any meeting of the entire community. It could be the annual meeting, certainly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, although you need something needs to be put. There's a whole set of procedures that you have to follow in order for a change to the governing documents has to be considered. If it originates from the community, there has to be a certain number of signatures to change something, and then you have to schedule a vote for it. But this would be a process to try to essentially modernize our governing documents, because a lot of the language reflects pre-turnover to the community.
Written to favor a development.
Exactly.
Well, and there's a lot of language which is no longer valid, like how it would be managed prior to turnover and stuff like that. And the other thing that I think is confusing for the community is that there's essentially our governing documents are spread across the original document, 4 amendments, and the bylaws. So when you try to explain to someone it's in this document or that document, it's naturally a confusing process, and part of this would be to just simplify, consolidate it into one document.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So there'll be updates on that as we go through that consideration. Any questions? Social.
That was it.
Okay.
They're doing great. I mean, the calendar's busy. If I go day by day, we'll be here till 9. So they're doing a great job. Those ladies and Chuck are awesome.
Okay. Any questions for Stan on social? Okay. Amenities.
Amenities, Chuck went over a lot of all the stuff that's been done with the pool. And the surrounding chairs and all the other stuff that's been had. We are currently looking into the basketball court and the tennis pickleball courts need, first of all, some repair, pavement cracks, stuff like that. Also, we're looking into converting kind of the one court that's got both tennis lines and pickleball lines. Nobody seems to want to use it, and we keep getting reports that people are waiting to play pickleball. There's just not enough courts. So we're looking at the expense of taking that other convertible court now to turn it into 4 pickleball courts. But
Can I add to a little bit if I can?
Yeah.
He's absolutely right. Pickleball is a huge sport nowadays.
Mhm.
It's picking up steam. Cape Coral just opened up that huge
Yeah.
pickleball park. They're charging a lot of money. Not
Yeah.
that we're going to charge, but it goes to show you that it's packed. I've the social committee a couple weeks ago started looking into it also, and they're nobody wants to use that tennis court because pickleball players are different than tennis players. Pickleball players, tennis players are tennis players. So that pickleball court is usually always empty and they want to be able to use it. And there's a lot of people waiting and it's a shame. Plus, it's a very popular sport. Um, I, I think Chuck mentioned, I don't think he mentioned it today, but the tennis courts are due to be resurfaced anyway soon, right?
Yeah, there's uh, tree roots and cracks
Mhm.
that are kind of stimulating the need to resurface it.
that's typical.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
same thing with basketball court. So it's
Yeah.
So I figure I mean, it's a little bit hard to swallow, but since we got to do the tennis courts anyway, I mean, it'll be nice for the pickleball people to get themselves. And it's not just one pickleball court. It goes from one tennis court to I believe it's 4 pickleball courts, which is fantastic. I
Right.
mean, it will be a great addition to the Sandoval amenities.
So
Problem
my-
with that is our governing documents. They list tennis courts. So
well, you're not going to limit.
any of the tennis courts. And we're going to keep 2 tennis courts.
okay,
So we
I don't
have-
mind. I just say we got to
Well,
be careful.
Oh yeah, no,
So-
we know that.
So John, the issue is that if you want to get it to a passionate debate, you can argue religion or you can argue pickleball versus tennis with tennis players and pickleball players.
I don't want to argue either one. I'm just saying.
But
Change the bylaws.
well, no, it's not in the bylaws. It's we've got limited capacity,
Yeah.
and it's trying to make all making both the pickleball players and the tennis players satisfied with whatever choice we make. So that's
Unless,
because
John, you want to donate to 10 acres, buy part of the farm over here,
Yeah.
donate it to Sandoval.
No.
We'll put a whole pickleball complex in it.
then we just
Stick it
need
into the rules.
$250,000 to go build it.
Yeah.
John's got it.
Okay,
I used to.
all right. Anything else on amenities, Rob?
Not that I can recall.
Okay. We will skip dog park subcommittee because Dave is not here. Safety and security, Lisa.
We did not have an August meeting because of everybody's vacation schedules, so the only actionable thing that we had going on was that resolution with Cape Police, which is complete. We did do a first download from the speed signs, so we are currently evaluating that data. And we will have probably a small presentation at the next board meeting with some information from that.
Questions for Lisa?
Yeah, I brought this one up before. Not to Lisa. It's a safety thing, but it's also a landscape thing. When you go out the Trafalgar Gate and you have to come to the stop sign.
Mhm.
Well, if you're in my little low car, you can't see over the bushes. You can't see around the bushes. Somebody coming around the circle. I've asked them to cut them down. I think they've cut them down some.
Mhm.
But my recommendation is that you take the bushes out and put ground cover around the monument. That way, I can see. Sorry, it's just, and anybody with a low car, Mazda Miata, Corvette, my Jaguar, that's low, my windows is here. and I've almost a couple of times car hidden in the bushes, and I'm coming out and I don't, my eye stopped. I didn't have an accident, but it's just a thought. I'm just
Okay.
I'll look at it with the landscape committee.
yeah, it's just
It's difficult for me because when I get in my car, when people say that, and I go, "What the hell are they talking about?" Because I said, in a higher car.
I'll trade cars with you.
Just sell it to
Borrow
me.
his car.
That's right.
You gotta go buy a new Corvette. Your wife will
That's where I
approve.
spent my money.
Okay, anything else for,
Oh, so.
okay, Lakes Committee.
Look at the fur car.
John Lakes.
Oh, I didn't think you were gonna say anything, Jane.
Oh,
She does? Yeah. No. Is that charge?
Next meeting in August because of members were on vacation. So the next meeting is September 9th. The new lake maintenance vendor, Premier Lakes, has started. They've treated several lakes for algae and they're working on the bubblers. There was a presentation by Ernesto from the Pond Watch in August. That was recorded. I don't know if it's on Sandoval Live. Yeah, but is it on? I gotta get it on Live Sandoval.
We'll send a request to the
Yeah.
Communications Committee to put the link on the Lakes page.
So it will be available. It is on YouTube. Yeah. The shoreline repair, Seabreeze that's the vendor for the shoreline repair, and they're monitoring the lake level, but obviously they're waiting for it to get lower, and they've submitted for the permit for the repair that we agreed to for this year. 2026, I want to go over the selected areas for repair with them now that I'm back in town. I'll schedule some time with them to make sure we're hitting the areas that are in most need of repair for 2026. Other than that, please consider joining the Lakes Committee. We can always use more people. There's 25 lakes in Sandoval. It's a lot to keep track of, so we could use some more members on the committee.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Jane.
Any questions for the Lakes
questions?
Committee? Covenants Committee.
Commons Committee met on the third Thursday, as always, it's not intrusive. There was one issue to be reviewed, a fine or resolution by the board. The Covenants Committee upheld the board's decision.
Thank you. Any questions for Jen? Okay. Finance Committee report.
Finance committee, we are working on the budget and we have started scheduling meetings once a week so that we can get through it as quickly as possible. As I mentioned earlier, we are looking at possibly switching banks for our money because of the low return we're getting, but we've met with two banks already, and I have a meeting Tuesday with Precedent to discuss the other banks and what's available. And as I also mentioned, the auditor is close to completion. This has taken him an enormous amount of time, and it's taken Precedent a lot of time also, trying to provide him with the information he needs to sort through what was given to us when we left Associate. And that's about it for finance. Does anybody have any questions?
Have you looked at all at like credit unions? I know you keep saying banks. Credit unions are we got a couple of real good ones in town, mid Florida. Obviously everybody knows Suncoast. Is there a difference or can we do it or can't we do it? Or
Well,
DSC
I want,
guarantees.
they're guaranteed.
it's got to be with the bank that's integrated with Precedent's accounting system.
Oh,
And so far, to be honest, I was under the impression that the only bank the Precedent did business with was Popular Bank, and we were stuck. And now talking to other places, it's like, oh, you're integrated too, so I'm not limited to Popular Bank.
Hmm.
The only issue is that was brought up and discussed in the finance meeting was if we do switch banks, it's gonna have an impact on the residents that have ACH. But I went back and asked Precedent how many residents were affected, and it's just under 300. So we could, it wouldn't be that big of a burden to get 300 residents converted over.
Well, good stuff. We just switched over to Mid Florida and they've been fantastic. I mean, the way they're treating us as a company has been great.
Comment.
Yes, John.
As we approach the budget, I think we need to relook at the amount we're charging per house going toward reserve. With the market is dwindling, as you know.
Yes.
There's a prediction that there are probably 10 cities in Florida where the real estate market is tanking. Cape Coral is one of those 10 cities. We might want to consider reducing from 4,000 to 3,000, perhaps, if we can encourage, and then we'll need to make up then that reserve balance through direct contribution of each owner. It's just a consideration we should look at.
We can discuss it at our, next meeting, but it will probably, based on the number of house sales we've had so far this year, we're probably gonna end up being way under budget on what we planned for initial contribution.
Right.
And it is gonna have to be offset by residential assessment.
Sure.
But until we sit down and talk about it, I will take it into consideration.
Okay.
David, do you have a date set for the town hall for the budget review?
I was being very optimistic, and I was shooting
Particularly if
October
condos.
2nd.
Okay.
Condo prices
I
dropped down
think
to 200
In the
range.
next 2
charging
weeks,
full
I may
grand per.
have to adjust it.
Okay, because I'd like to get it published as early as possible, because it's not on any of the notices that Jessica puts out, so we'd like to get that on the list.
Yeah, there was a lot of issues with maintenance and
Yeah.
unforeseen breaks and things like that. So I don't have all the numbers yet for reserves, but I'm hoping to have the operational side of it done within a week or two.
Okay. All right. Okay, very good. Any other questions for Dave? Landscaping.
Landscaping. We continue to meet with Juniper on a regular basis. They are probably 99.9% done with this year's restoration. They thought they were done, and then after reviewing everything, it was like, you missed this and you missed this. So they're gonna go back and take care of it, but that should be it for restoration for the year.
Okay, very good.
Is there more scheduled for next year, Dave?
It's scheduled for the next 2 years.
Okay.
I seriously doubt we're gonna need all of that, but I'm not ready to say you can have it back.
Well, he's looking for it for his pickleball courts.
No, I know, I'm looking at some of the bushes that I think need to be torn out or replaced, so yeah.
Okay.
That is something that we need to look at, because there are some that are.
I'd love to take a ride with you one day,
That's fine.
just up and down the Esplanade.
That's fine.
Okay, very good. Anything else for Dave on landscaping? All right, very quick on risk management. I will be presenting revisions to the vendor liability policy for board consideration for the next board meeting. We've gone through a number of variances that we've had to approve, so we're going to go and look at if there's a way to fine tune it, especially with some help with our new legal counsel, to see if we can come up with a policy that might streamline some of our activities there. Okay. With Dave not here, we will skip strategic planning. And with that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 This meeting's adjourned.